Hey guys, here's a little reality revival for you. So it came up yesterday and a couple of days ago in one of my classes is self-sabotage. This is happening on a collective. Self-sabotage and also distraction. So I'm going to explain the energy and how this works and things that you can realize so that you can step forward and to not have and well to redirect yourself from all of these distractions and self-sabotage and kind of how they sneak up on us. So first, we're going to talk about the energy flow. So whenever you are going for a project and it feels really good to work on this project. For example, I'm working on a project right now. And as I'm working on this project and or I'm about to work on the project to complete the project or just to even get it going, something can come up like, ooh, that would be fun to jump on YouTube and post some things on YouTube. Okay. So sometimes we can look at that and be like, okay, that's obviously a distraction and or self-sabotage because I really don't even want to do that. Then that's easy and you can, release that thought. But what if it's something that you actually are interested in? So for example, YouTube, and I want to post some things on YouTube and that comes up and I'm like, yeah, that is actually a good idea. Well, now I'm thinking of two things. I'm thinking of the path I'm going to go to right now, the project that I'm creating. And then also my energy is being split, right? Is going to one thing. It's also being split going to YouTube. So that's the thing. When we have things that come up that sound good, and it's like, yeah, I want to do that too. Maybe it's a life purpose, right? Maybe you're like, ooh, I can really, get this job as a dog watcher. And you can go stay at people's houses and watch their dogs. And you're like, I would really love that. And it feels really good. And you feel to start out on it right now. And then as you're preparing for that or getting whatever you need, another idea comes up and you're like, I can actually, be a barista, right? And it's like that makes me excited. So then we have our energy going in two different directions. Well, guess what? When we're trying to manifest and we have our energy going into two different directions, and we have less energy going into what actually feels good for right now. So the knowing part of this is number one, noticing is this a distraction and or self-sabotage. Now, just because it does feel good for us doesn't mean it feels good for us right now. So you want to check out two things. Number one, is it a distraction and or self-sabotage? Again, it could be something you want to do, but you can ask your heart, is this a distraction and or self-sabotage? Is this misdirecting me from my focus of right now, what feels good in this moment, which is which is getting the job as a dog watcher or pet sitter. And if so, you can do it. You can release that like, no, I see that's a distraction. I see that self-sabotage. And maybe you look at whatever it is. Okay, that sounds really good, like to be a barista, but it doesn't feel time yet. So I'm just going to put it on the shelf. Okay. So what you're doing is you're choosing, no, I'm not doing this right now. You're releasing the self-sabotage, the distraction aspect of it. You're putting the other part on the shelf so that you can come back to later if it feels good. Timing is everything. Okay. If we start, and I'm going to talk about future, but if we start constantly thinking about, what we can do and it's like 10 things on a plate, our energy is going in many different directions. So once we put that on the shelf, we have energy directed back towards the one thing that we want to create. And because we have our energy directly there more so, then we're going to create it even more. Like it's more energy there. So it's more likely that it's going to occur. So that's how our energy can go elsewhere. And when we notice and we can check to see, is this a distraction? If it's not time for it, but it's coming up, it's either a distraction, self-sabotage. Okay. So a couple of things that can come up in how we work, that could be a distraction, self-sabotage. For example, is flying by the seat of your pants. If you're the type of person that gets really excited for new things, that's a way to check yourself. Like, is it time for this now? Does it really feel good to start working on this? If the answer is no, put it on the shelf. So if we're the person that fly by the seat of our pants, one of my clients said that the other day. She described it as flying by the seat of her pants, which was perfect. If you're that type of person, you can come to that realization, wait, it's not time. And this is coming up as a distraction and or self-sabotage. So release. Okay. Another thing is diving into drama. That is a huge distraction for us, and we easily get pulled in. If somebody, something's going on and it's like, ooh, I want to see that drama. We may not realize that at the time, but again, this is something to look at. Is this drama something really for you to get in? Like you're having, your mom and your sister are having a fight, and you could easily get into it and help and be that, third person. But is it heart aligned? Number one, does it really feel good for you to do that? Number two, is it time? Maybe it's for them to have their thing, they can do it themselves, they can figure it out. And for you to focus on that one goal, whatever it is, or one thing that you feel good in this moment that you want to look at. Again, it can wait. If it is something you feel to do, but it doesn't feel like it's heart aligned now, doesn't feel right now, put it on the shelf. And that may mean not looking at your phone every time you see a text. It may mean literally putting it on hold, as in like blocking yourself from even engaging into it. Because if you're following what's happening, even if you're not engaging, your energy is going there. Okay. So that's another one. So diving into the drama, whether it's your drama or not, the drama can wait. We feel like we have to jump in really quick and do something about it. It's like this like, oh my gosh, something bad is going to happen if we don't. But is that true? Is that true? So this is redirecting and refocusing where we want to go. And again, this is coming up for a lot of people, which is why I'm bringing this up, because a lot of distraction and self-sabotage are coming back. And it's just, what do you choose? All right. And the third way is saving the world. As a healer, a person who likes to help people, the minute that somebody needs some help, we drop what we're doing, not even thinking about it, because we believe if we're going to serve people, if we're going to serve the world, we have to drop what we're doing and help other people out or help the world out. That quality is not healthy for us. Now, helping people and serving in whichever way feels heart aligned and in divine timing, it feels right in the timing, that's aligned. That is helpful. But if we put ourselves to the side to jump into something without even thinking, without even asking ourselves, okay, is it really truly aligned for me to jump into this right now? Or can this wait? Can I put this on the shelf and come back to it? Right? And this is something that you really want to look into, because just as we talked about drama, it always seems like we need to do something now, that something's going to fall apart. The world's going to fall apart if we don't act, if we don't help this person right now, if we don't jump into this drama right now, the world's going to fall apart. We want to ask ourselves, is that true? Or is this another self-sabotage that you've been drawn into and doing to yourself unconsciously, for many, many years? This is a way to come to the recognition of this is not serving me. And then you put it on a shelf or put it wherever you need to put it. And whenever it feels good at the time, that's when you go to it. And that's something for you to notice and take those physical actions, those physical steps to put boundaries there for yourself so that you can realign, you can readjust and refocus. So your energy is going to one place, because if your energy is going to drama over here, saving the world over here, a project that you have over here, plus all the other things that you have on your plate, then your focus is too scattered and you're not going to create what you're trying to create in your life. Because your energy is scattered, it's going in many directions. So the timing is very important. Just like if you have a whole to-do list over here and you're thinking about the to-do list while you're trying to do one thing, that's not serving you. Choose one thing that feels aligned for right now. Start that, put everything else on hold. Everything can go on the shelf. Everything can wait. It can wait. It doesn't need to be done now. So that's one way to redirect our focus. And again, this is coming up for many for self-sabotage and our distraction. so that we can start letting go of that and having the realization that it's not just things that we want to do and or are being pulled in to do. It's actually a form of self-sabotage. And checking in, is that, is this a self-sabotage? If you notice a pattern for yourself, and to start doing those steps. The second way that we are self-sabotaging is future forecasting. So if we have one step that we know we want to go towards, say if it's pet sitting, okay? And you want to become a pet sitter, and there's that one step of applying with this company. But then right as you're either applying or even before you're applying, you start thinking about all the reasons of why it won't work or why it would work or how it's going to occur. Now, what's happening with our energies as we're thinking about those things is, number one, it's going to that first step, sort of, but it's also going around and going to whatever's coming up. So, is it going to work with my schedule? Is it, like all these things of how it's going to occur. When we start planning out, because we like to think forward, because we like to control, if we start thinking, okay, I know the first step is applying to this company to become a pet sitter, but you start thinking about how it's going to turn out, your energy is not just going to this one step, it's going to all these other things that may not even be true. Right? Because you're future forecasting on what it could be. Number one, your energy is scattered, so you're less likely to get to that one step. Number two, because your energy is going into things that you're creating, you don't even know if it's going to happen. You're just assuming. Then your energy is also creating those steps, which may not be the best for you. So it really is that next step, and the moment that your brain starts thinking about what's next, for you to be like, wait, no, I don't know what's going to happen. You can have an idea, but really it's taking that next step. And once you get that next step complete, then you see what's open, you see the possibilities. Because again, if you're just thinking about that next step and then you're thinking about how it's going to happen or what you can do and all that, you're actually limiting yourself. And your energy is less focused on actually getting that next step done because you're thinking about this, and this, and that scattered energy. Right now, we're really learning how to focus our energy, how to let go. And this is another way of self-sabotage and distraction, is when we future forecast. Also of people and what they will do in a certain situation. So say if you have a person that has done the same thing over and over and over again, if you assume that they are going to do that same thing, number one, it is, and especially if you tell them that, or you're projecting it onto them, as in you're assuming, and you're just like, yeah, you're just going to do that same thing. Number one, you're limiting the possibilities, the miracles that could happen. Number two is if you tell them that and you're projecting onto them, then that's actually kind of, if they take that in, that's going to limit what their possibilities are. Maybe not, maybe doing something different. So say you have one friend that is constantly doing the same thing, and it's, take that back, and you know what, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if she's going to do this or not. Now, this doesn't mean that you set yourself up where somebody has done something over and over, it's a pattern that they have, and you set yourself up for getting hurt or something that's not aligned. Like, oh, well, they could be different this time. It's not about you putting yourself in a place that does not feel safe or does not feel good. No. But it's about saying prayers and opening up the possibility that something can be different, especially for people that you're worried about. Releasing that worry, through releasing emotions, and then saying anything is possible, and taking on that new thought or idea that anything is possible. This opens up the possibilities. So this is the ways that we can lose our energy. And right now we're kind of needing a lot of energy with a lot of stuff coming in. And if our energy is being scattered in every direction, how can we even do our day-to-day? Or do our day-to-day very well and focused, right? And the more we're focused, the more we're creating. And more we're focused and scattered on other things, the more we're going to we may create those other things, right? So that is the end of this. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.